Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings tossed with a perfect dry rub and served with a trio killer of sauces. Menus at bigschicken.com. First on The Fan, after a 2-3 start and just getting back to this side of the pond, the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, Saleh had a 20-36 record. This is the first time in owner Woody Johnson's 25-year tenure that he's fired a coach mid-season. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim head coach, but will reportedly have a shot at earning the permanent job. Over in Major League Baseball, in a first, all four division series are tied at a game each. A pair of NLDS Game 3s today. First up, the Mets host the Phillies. Sean Manaea opposite Aaron Nola. That's a 2:08 first pitch. Then it's the Dodgers at the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Michael King. That's at 6:08 first pitch, Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 1:30, and both games can be seen on FS1. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Seahawks are expected to put edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least the next 4 games. And Georgia wide receiver Colby Young arrested early this morning on misdemeanor charges of battery and assault of an unborn child in an apparent domestic incident. Former Georgia receiver Rodarius Thomas was kicked off the team August 1st following an arrest on multiple family violence charges. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The original home of the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays 9 to noon, 1080 The Fan. This is Danny and Dusty.
Meringatang is going to be a thing.
You're not coining anything new.
With Danny Meringue and Dusty, the Fan Man Hera.
I'll throw some monkey sounds in there and call it good.
The old Danny Meringue pie?
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
The Fan.
Good afternoon. Hey, welcome in. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Danny Dusty with you.
Sweet little Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I had a listener come up one time and was like, hey, love the way you say Tuesday. Because it reminded him of his grandfather, who always used to say Tuesday. And I love how old people say Tuesday.
Certain words.
Washington.
Oh, yeah.
When you add the R just randomly into words, it's fantastic.
That's a good old Southern charm.
No, it's you would think it's Southern. It's just old people. Like at some point, I think you get to an age and just Washington becomes Washington.
Washington?
The dishwasher. I don't know what it is, but you get there to a certain point. We all know it.
It's called brain damage, I think.
Well...
Just saying.
Might be there sooner than I think then.
Chemtrails? I don't know.
All right. Well, you never know.
It's the simple things.
Wait, you just went chemtrails on me?
Look.
Oh, how we forget. Our conspiracy theorists have really escalated over the last decade or so because chemtrails used to be it, dude.
Now it's what was well, turned out Diddy actually was.
Yeah, no, Diddy not a good guy.
Turns out it was like a sex cabal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't one of the documentaries on that called Did He Do It?
Oh. Wow, they were quick with that.
I mean, when you have all of these documentaries holstered, because there's one on every platform right now.
Like there one came out on the Diddy thing like literally a week after the arrest. And I was like, huh.
Can I also just say, maybe we should give UCLA's strength and conditioning coach a little bit of credit here. Do you remember the kettlebell incident at UCLA when Diddy's son was playing at UCLA?
Right.
And Diddy threw a tantrum and was like throwing a kettlebell everywhere, and everybody's like, "What's going on at UCLA?" Yeah, you got this distinguished parent of a player. Like, what's wrong with them? It's like, no, maybe that
turns out he's a real a-hole.
Yeah, maybe we stand with UCLA on this thing now.
Let's not go too far.
Well, in this case, I think we should.
We should just stand against Diddy.
Yeah, yeah. Standing against Diddy.
Yeah.
Something we can all do.
Yeah.
And
I feel like this is actually going to be like the Epstein thing. Like this.
It's going to go deep.
Well, I think this is the one that I mean, he hung himself, of course. That's a conspiracy that I'm fully embroiled in.
All right.
He's taken out for sure. But the Diddy thing, I feel like that one's going to unravel.
Yeah,
I feel like
apparently there's a list.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen.
Apparently there's a list.
There's going to be a whole lot of people that get.
TMZ is the first to have that, right?
Oh yeah,
Always.
Yeah,
they're going to be the first to have that.
They have turned into like the most reputable breaking news agency on the planet. Is truly insane.
It's the damnedest thing. Well, and I think it's also the problem. It's also the problem because they don't follow like the journalistic
integrity.
Well, yeah, credo.
Yeah.
Where they don't double check a source. They're just like, well, we got it. And they're first to have it. But that is also because actual journalists are doing the legwork to make sure it is factual.
TMZ gets a source that's so good.
But yeah.
That's the thing, is like they have a no BS firsthand, unequivocal source. Like,
but they also miss on a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, well, our bad. And we don't really, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with it, is that there's a lot of stuff that they come out.
They had to walk back a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, they walk back a lot, but they get the big, like the massive stories. They're the first ones to have
it's
it.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly they're paying for it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
duh. You know, it's just how much are they willing?
Yeah, it's the bag. You know, that's the thing, is especially like when these influencers get popped, like like just absolute psychopaths. That's what it ends up being. It's like somebody in their close circles, like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go to TMZ and I'm gonna go get $100,000, and here you go.
Like Kanye's ex-wife.
Yeah, 100%.
He's getting divorced from his Kim K clone. What's her name?
Bianca?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sensory?
Sure. Yep. That's going to be a doc coming out real soon. One guy
it is Bianca.
Who they keep pulling up, and I didn't know how many songs he tore him apart in, and I didn't really realize that Eminem has hated Diddy basically his entire career. Like people were pulling up songs from 1996, which that's before Eminem was like a big deal.
Yeah.
They're pulling up songs from 96 where Eminem is just ripping Diddy apart.
Look, he may be from Detroit, but he drew lines with Tupac.
he was on that side.
He was on Team Suge Knight.
Yeah, he was on the west side of that.
You want your producer up on stage dancing around?
Golly, he's been merciless.
Look, instead of siding with UCLA, I'm siding with Suge Knight.
Sure.
Also a great human.
Yeah, that's the path you took there. Like, I don't stand with Diddy. I stand with Suge. What? What are we doing
sure he's
here?
In jail right now.
Yeah, I think in Oregon.
Yeah.
He's
at
in Oregon.
The federal pen in Oregon. You're right,
I think he's in. Well, he was in. He was in Sheridan.
Yeah, which is like the.
Yeah. I think they maybe moved him over to Eastern Oregon at some point.
That's also not a place you want to be.
Yeah. Wonder where he is now. Wonder where he is now.
Well, I'm guessing running things.
No.
Terrifying human.
Yeah, there is that. All right. Well, don't know how we got there, but we sure did.
I'll find a way. That'll happen.
Yeah, Diddy. Not a good guy.
No.
Documentary's already coming out.
Yeah, that's one of those ones when it feels like when we find out, we're not going to be shocked, but it's also going to be one of those, oh my God. Look, we're going to go full tabloidy here. Like,
all right.
Speaking of our algorithms being very different. Apparently Bieber was kind of like brought into this whole thing.
No, I've seen this. This has been in my algorithm.
Yeah, and it's like I started kind of digging into it. And I was like, oh.
Like Bieber has been. He always looks like there's so many videos where Bieber looks afraid to be around Diddy.
Yeah,
like it's like something has happened to where he's not
the Michael Jackson situation.
He feels very, very, very uncomfortable anytime he's around Diddy,
and then
which is kind of how everybody should feel around Diddy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand on Mace in this whole situation. He was with Bad Boy, then he left, became a minister, then he went back because he needed money and he couldn't go make any albums anywhere else because they still had him under contract. Yeah. So he needed the money, so he came back, and then he left again.
It's tough.
I don't know. Where do we stand with Mace?
I mean, it is Bad Boy for life.
Yeah.
You know what's great about when we cancel musicians because they're terrible humans? Every now and then, one of them sucks, like Diddy, and I don't care that I lose any of his music. Because there's not a Diddy song that I'm like, yeah, no, that's a banger.
there's a few.
Look, him and Faith Hill and capitalizing on Biggie's death, like, it sucked.
Well, yeah, of course.
Stings is better.
But though there's like R. Kelly. I only miss Remix to Ignition.
Look,
I miss Remix to Ignition.
Look, I'm not gonna lie.
He's a horrible human.
Horrible human. He has not left my Spotify. Neither has Kanye's first 2 albums have also not left my Spotify. Look, terrible people.
Terrible people.
But there is a sliding scale of art versus person.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, he's terrible. Ooh, those first 2 albums are really good. They're not going anywhere. It's like Michael Jackson's like, Thriller's not leaving Spotify.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Just not.
The people that just endlessly still defend Michael Jackson are the interesting ones.
No,
it's like, don't.
Just separate, man.
Don't.
Look,
pull apart. From
look,
that.
just do your mental gymnastics, and like I have, like Off the Wall and Thriller are not leaving my playlist. It's just not gonna happen.
All right,
I've accepted that.
Well, we got some sports to get to tonight.
My God,
today.
it's sports hard last night.
Well, we were still sporting. We're still sporting.
Unbelievable.
We've got a lot of NFL chatter that we need to get to today.
All of it, because we literally did not talk one bit of NFL yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was, well, because college football went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And then with Monday night wrapping up the way they did, I mean, it's a good thing we kind of waited for that. We will have today on the radio program, Noah Eagle will join us.
Caw.
The NBC sports broadcaster for their Saturday night football. He will be on the call for Oregon and Ohio State.
And the fastest riser in the play-by-play world.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Sometimes nepotism is good.
Yeah, no. I kind of want to ask him about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has the chops. He's really damn good.
He's really good.
He could be, we've talked about this, who's the next big voice, big game voice?
Yeah.
It's going to be him,
It's
because
probably him.
the thing with guys like Bob Costas and Keith Jackson and Pat Summerall is that we heard them at such a young age that in their careers that they, like, as the sport grew, so did they.
Yeah.
And their profile grew. That is what we're going to see with Noah Eagle, too, because, like, his dad, Ian Eagle, is really damn good.
Oh, God.
And what Noah Eagle does, he calls a great game. He's always prepared. Sounds like a pro.
Yeah.
Looks just like his dad.
Yeah, he's like
Dead ringer.
Yeah, it's a looper.
But at the same time, you're going, he could be the next big voice in sports, and I'm interested to catch up with him and get his thoughts on Oregon and Ohio State, because he'll be on the call in Eugene.
We can ask him about
I wonder if he's ever been to Eugene before.
I would imagine not.
Yeah, he's been to Oregon.
Has he?
Well, yeah, he called games for the Clippers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, duh. Yeah, Oh, for a year, 2 years.
Yeah, and
Short
the Nets. So he's probably
he's
been
been to
back for
Portland,
that too.
yeah.
So he's been to Portland,
Yeah, there you
but I doubt he's ever been to Eugene.
Probably not. I would imagine.
No,
because he's a Syracuse guy.
Yeah. Yep. Noah Eagle will join us at 1 o'clock. We're going to get into a little bit of Oregon and Ohio State in that regard.
I want to ask him about the professionalization of college football, because you talk about like Keith Jackson and Bob Costas, Pat Summerall, like the rise of the sport. Like we are at a point in college football where things are going to get very different, and he could be the face or the voice of professional college football.
Yeah, he's only 27.
Oh, he's dumb young, dude.
So he doesn't even really know college football without a semblance of professionalism.
Yeah. It's I mean, but I mean, like the idea, like he could be like.
I mean, we're what, year 3 in NIL?
Yeah.
4 in NIL? Which would put him like just out of college.
Pretty crazy. And I'm sure he was calling games at Syracuse. So.
Oh, absolutely, he was. He was the big cheer. Oh. All right. So Noah Eagle at 1 o'clock today. 2 o'clock we will have our 3 Up, 3 Down from the week of the National Football League. We also have. We'll hear from Dan Lanning, Oregon's head coach, on the big matchup they got. And then Ross Dellinger throwing a little grenade out into the living room on a Tuesday with a big change potentially coming in the world of college football as well. But where we got to start this bad boy off, you always remember the first one. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. Everybody remembers their first. And this year, 2024's first casualty is Robert Saleh, head coach of the New York Jets. He gone. Fired today after 3+ seasons. Woody Johnson called it, the owner of the Jets called it 3.5 years. Boy, that's being generous. He made it 3 years and 5 games.
Oh.
Yep. 20-36 record for Robert Saleh in his 3+ seasons in New York because he's the problem. Jeff Ulbrich will take over as the interim head coach. He is the defensive coordinator for the Jets. This seems like a dysfunctional franchise doing very dysfunctional things because when you fire a coach, the number one thing, and like fans always say, fire him. And the answer is always, where are you going to go?
Yeah, and this is why.
What are you going to do?
Whenever there's a coach on a hot seat heading into the season, I look at ownership and I look at the front office and go, you're stupid, you're inept, and you don't know what the hell you're doing. Because at that point in time, if you're doing that, you've already made the decision.
He's already done.
So what are you doing? So just make the change. And if just be honest and say, oh, we don't want to because it's money.
Well, he was fired today.
Yeah, and it's just... And the one of the comments that's come out from Jets owner Woody Johnson, this is one of the most talented teams ever assembled by the New York Jets. Well, I mean, maybe that's your GM should be fired. Because if this is one of the most talented teams you've ever assembled in your city and your franchise in the 25+ years that you've owned it, Woody, you're doing it wrong. You're good. You're not great.
But I think anybody that watches the New York Jets, you don't sit there and say the head coach is the problem, who's a defensive-minded head coach. He's not calling plays offensively. Offense is the issue.
Remind me again, Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Was he problematic as a play caller in Denver as a head coach?
He was, and he got that job because of the success that Aaron Rodgers had. And you have a offensive coordinator who is in place because he is tight with your quarterback, who is not performing like he once did. And at this point in Aaron Rodgers' career, he doesn't need the yes man. He needs somebody that will be honest with him and tell him what he is capable of doing now, right? And Aaron Rodgers probably won't like that.
I was going to say, have you met Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, right. He probably will not like what it needs to be said, but the way that they play and how many just like, you have Garrett Wilson and you are running him on slants, you are running him on smoke screens. You're not using the best asset that Garrett Wilson has, which is he's a phenomenal downfield route runner. And you're just saying, no.
With size, speed, and a catch radius the size of a pterodactyl.
Instead, you got more targets for him this past week, but it was all underneath stuff, which to be a complete receiver, you have to do it. Garrett Wilson can do it. But they're not running an offense that accentuates their strengths whatsoever. You have an offensive line that has been very shaky in pass protection. You don't make an effort to really run the ball, and you have Breece Hall in the backfield, right? You're sitting there and you're going, why in the world would you not play to your team's strengths? And what they're trying to do is play exactly the way they did in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers was 6 years younger, when he was healthy and wasn't coming off an Achilles tear.
And had an offensive line.
And had an offensive line that was really damn good. But they're going to fire the head coach because they feel they're losing the locker room. Jeff Ulbrich coming in as the defensive coordinator is not going to win that locker room over because what are the immediate reports that are coming out? That last year they lost faith in Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator.
Oh, weird.
And you're probably looking at a Robert Saleh who was like, I can't fire him because then I lose Rodgers, right?
And there's already been the leaks that are out that are, I mean, obviously from Aaron Rodgers' agent. Aaron had no idea that this was coming. Come on. Come on.
Well, and Woody Johnson even went so far to say as he talked with Aaron Rodgers last night, but not about this.
How in the world would you have a conversation with Aaron Rodgers and not talk about this?
The idea of that happening is actually more irresponsible than lying about not talking to him.
Well,
because if you were going to make this decision with your $50 million a year quarterback, or your team and you're having conversations with him the night before and you don't have a conversation with him about firing the head coach, what the hell are you doing?
All right. You guys tell me this. We'll have the jury out on this. Would you guys consider this a conversation about firing Robert Saleh? Okay. Aaron Rodgers calls Woody Johnson. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Woody.
Fire Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a conversation, or is that just like Aaron Rodgers?
It's
just
an edict. It's not a conversation. There's a differentiation.
Aaron Rodgers, like it's not like it wasn't a conversation. We didn't have like this back and forth. It was just he told me something. I said, okay, that's not a conversation, I guess.
It is dialogue.
Yeah.
Words were spoken by both parties.
Yeah, he could just say.
Here you go. An edict is an official order or proclamation issued by a person in authority.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. So the conversation was not had. An edict.
Yeah, you don't have it. And here's the thing: Jets fans are, some are happy, some are just in a pretzel over how this feels. Look, you have a franchise that doesn't know a direction. When you fire a coach in 5 games, you don't know where you're going to go. You're just getting ahead of everybody else in preparation for hiring the next head coach. But it also is a gigantic red flag for other coaches that are out there. See Ben Johnson, right? The hot name as the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions last year, who's like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. You have certain situations where coaches are going to be turned off by this. How about this one? Do you know how many coaches have had a winning record after their tenure with the New York Jets since 1960?
I would imagine a lot.
No, 2.
Oh.
2. Only 2 coaches since 1960.
Wow.
For the New York Jets have left that organization with a winning record.
Oh, I thought you were saying I had a winning record after they left.
Okay. They are Bill Parcells and then Al Groh, who left the Jets in 2000 to be a college head coach after 1 year. He went 9-7 and was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And he went to go coach the University of Virginia. Football powerhouse, University of Virginia. 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 over 500.
Yeah, then that's the thing is when you said that, I read that or heard that as what coaches have gone on to have above 500 records.
No.
After they left, and I was like, that list is probably pretty long.
The Jets are not. The Jets are the problem.
They are
here.
the problem. Yeah.
This is not. And Woody Johnson, since he took over as the owner of the New York Jets, yes, they went to back-to-back AFC Championship games.
It was right after he got him, wasn't it?
No. He is 170 and 222 as an owner of the New York Jets.
Good
in
God.
New York City, you are that bad.
That's insane.
So I look at Robert Saleh.
Not like the Jets' defense has been bad.
They have not. And now he goes to New York, and he's viewed as just this idiot.
Who he forgot how to coach.
And look, some guys might not be head coaches, and he was not handling himself very well at the podium the last handful of weeks, but nobody else would when you have zero control. Your quarterback has more control than you.
Yeah.
You have an offensive coordinator that nobody on your team has faith in. And ownership, obviously, bit of a mess. With Robert Saleh, the first to be fired.
Yeah, surprised by that he's the first to be fired, first of all. I would have probably leaned Jacksonville with Peterson first. Hell, maybe Sirianni second.
Yeah.
Dable in New York.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's an interesting one, too.
in Dallas.
Maybe they should just trade Mike McCarthy for
Saleh,
you know? I mean, Aaron Rodgers would love to get Mike McCarthy fired again.
And Lord knows you could convince Cowboys fans that a new coach is going to solve all their problems.
Yeah.
Because they've done that every year since 1994. That's going to solve that. That's the fix.
I did one of my favorite things today. When there's big like New York news like this, I like to go and listen to our sister station in New York, WFAN.
I'm sure the meltdowns were fantastic.
Whoa, Nelly. I need to read this exchange because I texted it to a buddy when I heard it, and I was just like, these guys are out of their mind. All right, there was a host who said, who said Saleh came in as one of the best defensive coordinators in football. 2 minutes later, he goes, yeah, I don't think he had the credibility to go down to the offense and say what needs to change. Quick exchange after that. They're talking about now Jeff Ulbrich stepping in and said, hey, as the defensive coordinator and now the interim head coach, maybe Ulbrich can go down and tell the offense what needs to change based on what he sees as the defensive coordinator. So within like a 2.5 minute span, they went from
into it.
Saleh was one of the best defensive coordinators, but he has no business going down and telling the offense what to do. But Jeff Ulbrich, he's a defensive coordinator. He could tell the offense what to do.
And this is how New York franchises exist.
It was fantastic.
It's all they just talk themselves into a circle. This is how you get the Knicks and the Mets and the Yankees and the Giants and the Jets and every single freaking year it's the same. Seriously, of all of those franchises over the last decade, only one of them has like made wholesale changes that no doubt have like changed their circumstances, and that's the Knicks.
Yeah, now that and look, make no mistake that the Knicks returning to relevance, it has everything to do with James Dolan has stopped
Got that out of the way.
being in the way.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because he has the sphere in Vegas.
He's managing that
No.
boondoggle.
No, seriously, think about the growth of the Dolan Enterprises, right? Where the venues and the theaters that they own across the country. And now his focus is more on those things than it is
And Leon Rose can just run the Knicks.
the Knicks. Yeah. And it's like letting the
That's
basketball
interesting.
people do basketball things because their portfolio of like music venues and theaters and obviously the Sphere in Vegas,
MSG.
it has been his main focus.
Yeah, because
now.
if you get thrown out of MSG when they send you the letter, it also lists out all of the other James Dolan owned venues, and it is a long list.
Yeah, there's a dude who
the bong guy,
the
from
bong guy
at
at the Fish concert at the Sphere. Which, oh my gosh, a guy was smoking a bong out of a bong at a Fish concert.
Also, how do you get a bong into that venue? That's impressive.
Never underestimate
A pothead.
And his will
Ingenuity.
to get a bong in.
And it wasn't even like MacGyver. It was like,
Well, I bet it came in like
more like MacGyver, man.
Yeah. I bet it came in like 5 pieces,
smuggled in.
and they had just like
assembled in the bathroom.
That guy posted a picture, and he can't go to Madison Square Garden anymore,
or any of the theater venues, or anything.
none. But he's like, I took a bong rip at a Fish concert in Vegas, and I can't go to MSG.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Of which they will know if you try because they have facial tracking software.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother thing.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, you look at all of the New York franchises right now. What's outside the Knicks? Who's in a good position? Like the Yankees, kind of.
And here's the thing with a lot of the New York sports franchises, like the Mets have made a World Series in the last decade, right?
Yeah.
The Yankees are close, but this is the thing. The success of those franchises right now is dependent mostly on being in New York.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like players want to go and play in New York City. And that's the amazing part is how bad they still are.
Yes, this in spite of having
Knowing
that advantage.
It's a massive advantage.
And the amount of money that everyone's like, oh, the taxes in New York and it's expensive to live there. I'm like, if you are a star, the amount of money that you make, not only off your contract, but off your endorsements, it's the literal number one place to be an endorser in this country. And you could argue in the world, depending on what sport it is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep.
If you are a New York Yankee, it is the number one place in the world to be an endorser.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's insane.
Yeah. We'll have some Major League Baseball stuff too. Because have you seen about this divisional series? It's getting wild.
Well, I mean, which one?
It's getting wild.
The Dodgers and Padres are insane. Clase gives up a freaking 3-run bomb.
We'll get to some of that.
Baseball. October baseball over the last 5 days has been some of the best playoff baseball we have had in years.
We got thick picks that we need to talk about next, though. First is Rust. with SportsCenter. Go get them, Tiger.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, after a 2-3 start and just getting back to this side of the pond, the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, Saleh had a 20-36 record. This is the first time in owner Woody Johnson's 25-year tenure that he's fired a coach mid-season. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim head coach and will reportedly have a shot at earning the permanent spot. Over in Major League Baseball, it's a first. All 4 division series games tied at a game each. Division series tied at a game each. A pair of NLDS Game 3s today. First up, it's the Mets hosting the Phillies. Sean Manaea opposite Aaron Nola. That's a 2:08 first pitch. Then it's the Dodgers at the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Michael King. That's a 6:08 first pitch. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 1:30. Both games can be seen on FS1. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reports the Seahawks are expected to put edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least the next 4 games. And Jordan Schultz reports Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice had LCL surgery today and will miss the rest of the regular season. There was also a structural repair done to his hamstring. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Damn it. The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan.
Monday Night Football let me down. Yep. All I needed was an over on 43. And I thought I was going to get it. Would have been a perfect weekend of picks for me in wagering. Total was 39. Ooh. We had the missed extra point, right? Mm-hmm. Had the missed extra point right there. That would have just pushed it up to 40, and I would have been like a field goal away, and I would have felt okay with just maybe a push. Don't like ties. But we had a couple of situations where I thought I was on the cusp of getting those points until something happened that both made me sad and very happy at the same time.
Here we go, second down and goal. Mahomes in the gun, the 2 in New Orleans. P. Ryan in motion. There's the shotgun snap, the fake handoff, the quick throw at the goal line is deflected, and it's intercepted on the play by Saunders. He runs the big man, the 10, near sideline 20, on the near sideline 30. Got a block in from behind. The former Chief is taken down. The Saints big man got it on the ricochet at the goal line on a pass intended for Smith-Schuster. That was a thick pick. That was a thick pick.
It was a thick pick. It bounced off of Schuster's hand, and Saunders one-handed it with the left hand, and the former running back looked good getting the ball all the way out near midfield. Of all of the plays that could have happened,
we were just talking about him. His brother dances. He runs. They are a talented family.
I look, Kevin Harlan, God bless him.
I would love to hear Kevin Harlan on a broadcast when FCC rules did not forbid him.
Yeah.
Because I bet you he would be off the rails.
It'd be great.
And I mean that in the most fun possible way.
He would be fantastic. And Kalen Saunders
is a freak athlete.
He is 6'1", 324 pounds.
And let's be honest, he's bigger than 320.
You heard Ross Tucker say the former running back?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Haloti Ngata when he was a running back in high school. Adam Schefter in 2019, he retweeted this last night after the pick. Where did he go? Western Illinois? Saunders? He was. I'm almost certain it was an Illinois school.
Western Illinois.
Yeah. So
Leathernecks.
And it was him, Saunders, not Schefter, at 320 pounds doing a full sprint running handspring into a backflip, and then doing a standstill backflip and landing perfect.
Yeah.
320 pounds. The level of explosion and athleticism in this man's body is just different.
Here's the question that I have, is that I saw this tweet and she just left it at this. And how can you leave this? Catherine Terrell said, at 324 pounds, Kalen Saunders reached a top speed of 15.79 miles per hour on his 36-yard interception. The third fastest speed by a ball carrier who weighs over 320 pounds since 2016. Who are the other two? Who are the other two that ran faster than that? Because I need these freaks to be unmasked. That is incredible. He, in his only tweet, told y'all. That's it. Full stop. Just told y'all. And he was a monster, but the way that Monday Night Football played out, we're seeing the warts of the New Orleans Saints, who are now on a 3-game losing skid after being one of the most prolific teams in NFL history through the first 2 games of the season, scoring wise. They have been ground to a halt, and I don't know if interceptions get much worse if your name isn't Will Levis or Daniel Jones than the Derek Carr interception on the first drive of the game. What was that?
I don't ask me that.
Well, it was mind-boggling. It was crazy. Yep, YOLO, gonna throw the ball away. The other thing that comes out of that game, this Kansas City Chiefs team is terrifying because You asked this question yesterday. Who's Patrick Mahomes going to throw the ball to? Travis Kelce. He had a big game. 9 catches, 70 yards, and a sick-ass lateral. How about Juju Smith-Schuster coming out of nowhere? And 7 catches, 130 yards.
I think I saw that was his most yards since 2020.
That is the scariest part about this Chiefs team. They're just ho-humming their way to 5-0. They're playing really good on the defensive side of the ball. They are running the hell out of the football. Kareem Hunt, 27 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown yesterday. This team is terrifying. Now, they can't afford many more injuries because Rashee Rice, what a weird day yesterday was with his knee injury, where they're like, oh, it might not be as bad as we thought. Then they go in there and they're like, oh, yeah, it was as bad as we thought.
And then it comes back now, this morning, it's not as bad as we thought.
Yeah, but the
ACL, MCL intact.
Yeah, but he had to get his LCL completely, and so we're probably not going to.
They did something with his hammy too.
Yeah, probably not going to see old Rashee Rice again. Maybe that'll slow him down a little bit. Maybe. Maybe.
Potential.
Maybe.
I'm over here still trying to do the math for the impact force that is generated by a 320-pound human running at 16 miles per hour.
I don't even know what that means.
Just thinking about, like, when you hear, like, what would happen if you got hit by a car at, like, 5 miles an hour versus, like, 20 miles an hour kind of a deal. Just the math behind that, like, the actual, like, Newton force generated. And it's a lot.
All right.
Like, I'm trying to find a comparison for it. But, yeah, it's...
That statistical breakdown made sense because in my brain, I was sitting there saying, yeah, it is a lot. It's going to be a lot.
PFT commenter said he by his calculator, it's the same, about the same force as Taylor Swift moving at Usain Bolt's world record speed of 28 miles an hour.
Okay.
I was like,
all right.
I don't think that's how that works because math times velocity squared. But hey, the idea of somebody moving that fast at that size is just
it's crazy,
terrifying.
Yep.
It also makes what Derrick Henry did late in that game the other day, breaking away from everybody at like 270 pounds.
He's a
also
nightmare.
Infinitely more terrifying.
All right, Monday Night Football, Chiefs 5-0. Patrick Mahomes is in his bag, Andy Reid in his bag, and they are running the football, which is very scary.
And they still aren't
very, very
firing
scary.
on all cylinders. They're still janky.
Yeah,
that's what's so frustrating.
The way they played last night wins them another Super Bowl. The way that, like, if you play that game, you are going to win a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
again.
I mean, if you can run the ball like that, absolutely.
You run the ball, you
dominate
have
the clock,
balance.
Possessions.
You have balance all the way across in your receiving targets. You're not having to lock onto anybody. It's a scary proposition. All right, I have an Ashton Genty stat of the day for everybody, and this one is bonkers. Because it popped up and I went, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Next on The Fan. All right, Noah Eagle coming up at the top of the hour. NBC Sports will be on the call for Ohio State, Oregon.
Indeed.
Which you can also hear right here on the fan. All right, I saw, you want my Ashton Genty stat of the day?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ashton Genty currently has 1,031 yards on the season on 95 carries. Right?
Good Lord.
He has 16 touchdowns this season. He's averaging 206 yards per game, leading the country. Runaway. I saw this stat. Would you care to guess how many yards after contact Ashton Genty has this year? So after getting hit.
I'm going to say it's actually above 50%. So I'm going to say 600 yards.
He has 635 yards after contact.
Holy crap.
That would put him currently, if you just go total yards in college football, there's a lot of guys who have played 6 games. He's only played in 5. Okay? That would put him 6th nationally in total yards, and that's after contact. If you go yards per game, and we calculate those guys in that have only played 6 games and even the playing field a little bit, he's still 6th nationally at 125 yards per game after contact.
Yeah, this is that's why I've got this dude in one on my ballot, man. What he's doing is just absurd.
It is absurd. It's nuts.
And it's not like this is like a gimmicky offense or like you're putting him in like these weird spots. He's just running between the tackles and whooping everyone.
Yards after contact.
Like that's the thing is like
nuts.
the yards after contact. Like he's not just hitting space and blowing like a 4.1 840 freak.
He doesn't have the best offensive line in the country he's running behind
no,
right
that's
now.
insane.
He has a really good one though. All right. There's my Ashton Genty stat of the day.
Sheesh.
He's a freak of nature. All right, coming up next, Noah Eagle. He'll be on the call for NBC Sports Big Ten Saturday night for Oregon, Ohio State, number 3 hosting number 2. We talk to Noah Eagle next. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
From the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by PG Long Floor Covering, carpet, hardwood, or laminate, flooring, cleaning, or restoration. Call PG Long, your Northwest flooring experts, pglongllc.com. First on The Fan, after a 2-3 start and just getting back to this side of the pond, the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, Saleh had a 20-36 record. This is the first time in owner Woody Johnson's 25-year tenure that he has fired a coach mid-season. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim head coach and will reportedly have a shot at earning the permanent gig. In a Major League Baseball first, all 4 division series are tied at a game each. A pair of NLDS Game 3s today. First up, the Mets hosting the Phillies. Sean Manaea opposite Aaron Nola. That's a 2:08 first pitch. Then it's the Dodgers at the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Michael King. 6:08 first pitch. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland starts at the bottom of the hour. Both games can be seen on FS1. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. Danny and Dusty.
My Uncle Gus is the uncle that liked to work the grill. As soon as he walk in the house, it's like, get away from that grill. You don't know how to start no fire.
With the latest on the Blazers, Ducks, Beavers, and the hottest topics in sports.
We're going to eat a hamburger, okay? Here we go. Chad, throw the mat. Now that's a fire.
Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and 1080.
I'm not cooking them brontosaurus burger.
The Fan.
Hour number 2, Danny and Dusty with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Thank you for being a part of our day, letting us be a part of yours, whether it's on 1080 AM, 99.5 HD2, the Odyssey app, twitch.tv/1080 AM The Fan, or youtube.tv/1080 AM The Fan. Thank you, party animals, for partying hard with us on this Tuesday. Waiting on a call from Noah Eagle, the play-by-play broadcaster for NBC, as Oregon taking on Ohio State, number 2 versus number 3 in the country, and it's going to be one heck of a football game and environment in Eugene on Saturday. I wonder when that place, the buzz around the stadium. That's one of the fun things, when it's going to start filling up.
When does it start ticking up?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a tailgate-a-palooza.
The energy around big games is like, it's palpable. Like, you can kind of feel it.
And you got game day that's setting up already.
Yeah.
It's going to be when it peaks though. I mean, look, shout out Cal. I mean, they brought it from 3:00 in the morning on.
You know, I am actually really glad that the bar was raised the week before game day comes,
as opposed to some like kind of a weird spot that game day wouldn't go.
Because that tells all of the college kids that are going to show up there,
better show
in
up
the wee hours of the morning. No, our sign game needs to be on point. We need to be raucous. We need to be loud. We can't let Cal have
of all places. You can't let Cal do that.
Yeah, we cannot let Cal have a win over us, and that will be the interesting part of college game day being in Eugene on Saturday, because I don't know how many people remember the first couple times game day came to Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
It was different. I mean,
you had Puddles up there. It was the first time, right?
Do you have
with Corso?
Well, he made an appearance, but it was like they set it up to where I think like over by where the BMX track is now, and I remember seeing the pictures that I had friends that went up and were there for it, of just the massive humanity. And it started at like, the show doesn't start till 6 a.m. our time, but you got to get started getting there at 3 a.m. Like the frats they were throwing parties and then just walking over.
Ready to go.
Just lit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was dark, but they were lit.
Then you go home and you power nap and you come back for the game.
Yeah. And then you reset, do it all over again. And that was kind of missing over the last couple of times that game day has shown up to Eugene. Cal raising the bar, that's huge. The fact that it's Ohio State, Oregon, that's huge too. That lifts everything up a little bit more when it comes to these types of situations in these games. And I'm pumped for it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to talk to Noah Eagle about it when he dials us up. And I think Russ just said he's calling right now.
Yeah, perfect.
We have this text that says, "Yeah, I'm working on getting there at midnight from Vancouver, trying to get that Pat McAfee kick. Let's go."
I know people have their thoughts on Pat.
Mm-hmm.
He's been electric for college football.
He's been really good, and they need that void because Lee Corso is obviously on the tail end of his time there, and but he was that guy. Lee was that guy.
He riles the crowd up. He brings the juice. He brings the energy. Like, look, Saban's been fun.
I think Saban's been great.
But
Saban has
playing
been
those
great.
two off each other, that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a big one. There's no doubt about it. Coming up Saturday, 4:30 in Eugene. And now joining us is Noah Eagle, the voice of NBC Sports Big Ten Saturday night. Noah will call Ohio State and Oregon alongside Todd Blackledge this Saturday, 4:30 on NBC and Peacock. Noah, thanks for taking a few minutes for us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing better after you really emphasized Peacock on the back end of that. So I'm feeling real good now. Company man over here.
I love it. I know you've been to Oregon. Obviously, your coverage of the NBA has brought you up into Portland. Have you ever been to Eugene, though, before?
Great question. The answer is no. So this is the first time into Eugene and definitely a heck of a time to do it. But I've heard plenty about it from former Ducks, from former Duck head coaches, from many others, including Todd Blackledge, who have told me it might be the loudest environment in college football. So for a game like this, I'm expecting the noise to hit a different level.
What does that do for you as a broadcaster? Like when you have the energy in the building and you can kind of feel that and feed off of it?
Yeah, I don't know how much we all really appreciated it until COVID. And I definitely always knew that it was important, and you can, to your point, feed off of an energy that a crowd provides. But when COVID hit and there were no fans and I was doing games either remote or in an empty arena or stadium, and it was completely BYOE, bring your own energy, it just didn't feel the same. You just couldn't quite gauge when you needed to crank it at that same level. Now you can react based on how the crowd reacts, and you can understand what most of the fans at home are probably thinking or feeling, similar to how the people that are actually live and watching the event are feeling or thinking. So I think it's a huge advantage. But when you've got an environment that's massive like this one is supposed to be, or when I was doing the Olympics, there were a couple of those where it was just insane noise. I think you've got to also understand you can't go too big too early at the same time. So you can't overly match right away because you still need to save something for the fourth quarter and the biggest moments of the game. So it's a balancing act, but it definitely helps.
No, I know the preparation for every game is going to be extensive, particularly on football, the difference between, football and basketball. But when you look at a game of this magnitude, when you've got, two top 5 teams in the country, and you've got a likelihood that these teams coming out of this are going to be vying for high-level college football playoff spots, does the preparation change for you at all?
No, not really. I think the biggest key is actually trying to remind yourself not to do too much. You already over-prepare for every game that you do, and I say that an average of percentage of content prepared that actually gets utilized in the broadcast is probably 30. I'm probably using about 30% on an average game. It's 50 if the game is terrible and about 15 if the game's really good. So the hope is that I'm only using 15% of the info that I have. But if I'm already doing that, then to prepare even more would be probably not even smart, because then you're just overloading yourself and then you want to try to squeeze things in when they don't fit. I think the best thing that we've really adopted as a team, and our broadcast team has done a great job of this, and last week I thought we really did with the Michigan-Washington game, is you let the game come to you and don't force anything and don't feel the need to say something just to say it. Only say something if it really is going to make a difference in the broadcast. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to make sure that we're over-prepared per usual, but I don't think it's going to stray away from any other week.
When does that start? I mean, here we are on Tuesday. You got to put the game that you did on Saturday in the rearview mirror. When does that really start in hunkering down, and what does that process look like for you as you are preparing over the course of a week? Because you got till Saturday. You've got to go through. Is it stats? Is it backstories? Where does it start, and how does that progress over a week?
Yeah, I think that everybody does it differently, and I just know I get back every Sunday from my game. Usually I have to leave early Sunday morning. Last week I got a red eye, so it was leave through, get here, try to get a couple more hours. And every Sunday I say to myself, I'm going to be really efficient today. I'm going to sit down while I'm watching NFL, and I'm going to do my expense report, and then I'm going to start reading articles and watching last week's games of our teams. And by the time I go to sleep, I'm going to have a really good base heading into the week. And then I do none of that, guys. I do absolutely zero. I sit on my couch and I just wallow away and go, God, it'd be really nice if I was efficient right now instead of just scrolling Twitter constantly and endlessly and looking at my failed fantasy team. So instead, I'd say Monday is when I jumpstart things. Monday morning, I wake up, I take care of whatever little things need to be taken care of, whether it's emails or setting up meeting times or anything like that. And then it's kind of right to work. So it's reading articles, getting background on the teams, watching back their previous games. And by the end of Monday, the hope is that I've got a lot of the background done. So bio information on players and things of that nature and the background of the team's season so far. And then come Tuesday, it's a lot more now detailed. Can we start getting stats on there? Can we start getting deeper background on there? Can we read more articles, press conference stuff? What are the coaches saying? What are the players saying? What are the media saying? What are the fans saying? I actually like to listen a lot of times to podcasts of the local teams because they have the biggest pulse, and a lot of them are fans. They're fans that are talking about the team. So you start to get a flavor of what the fans are saying and feeling about their respective teams. And then Wednesday, we usually meet with a road team. So tomorrow, in all likelihood, we'll meet with Ohio State over Zoom. Thursday, I travel in, so I'm typing up a lot of those notes on the plane, finishing up a lot of the notes that I had already started. Friday, we meet with the home teams, players and coaches. And then Saturday, we do the game and go from there. So it's just a lot of compilation over the course of the week. And by the time you're there on Saturday, it hopefully is all organized, highlighted, color-coded, and you just let it rip.
No, I'm just glad he's one of us. Just sitting around on a Sunday, scrolling Twitter, watching NFL, getting lost in it. He's one of us.
7 hours.
Yeah, absolutely locked in. You are coming into the college football world now where it's a professional world. It's no longer the facade of what it was for so long. And over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about kind of how some of the voices of college football have transitioned, or just the voices of football have kind of transitioned out of the game. And you are kind of uniquely positioned at a point where you're so early in your career, you have this opportunity to kind of be the voice of the new world of college football, whether that's one of these professional, private equity firms that comes in and takes over things. Do you kind of look at that and where you are and the unique landscape of where things are now and just kind of allow yourself to think about what could be?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I try not to go too far into the future and try to definitely live in whatever our present matchup and present season is, but it's impossible to ignore kind of how things have developed over the last couple of years. And, I work with Todd Blackledge, and the one thing he told me is college football and college athletics have changed more in the last 5 years than in the previous 25 that he had worked in them combined. And he's right. I mean, I think we all see it. It's directly in front of our face. So to your point, I think I'm uniquely positioned in the sense that while I grew up and I watched it and consumed it, I wasn't living in the space to the level that I am now. And so at this point, I'm living in this space as all of this is happening, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it because I get to hear perspectives of everybody. I get to hear the perspectives of coaches who have been coaching for quite literally 30-plus years, like a Kirk Ferentz, who has been through now all of it. And then you get to hear perspectives of somebody like Dan Lanning, who's in year 3 as a head coach, who's got this youthful energy to him, and it's probably different. And so I just feel like I get to blend and try to bridge those gaps, which is a lot of fun and certainly a challenge as well. But excited to see where it all goes because I think more than anything, it's creating intriguing matchups like this weekend. And this weekend is supposed to be, I would say, the best one we have this season. And so we're just looking forward to trying to do justice by that and make sure we do our due diligence by doing the work and having fun once we get there. But, yeah, excited to see how this all develops. And the new Big Ten has been beneficial to us so far this season. So we hope that continues.
You know, as we take a look at this matchup, I think Ohio, when you think of Ohio State and you think of Oregon, I think offense really comes to most fans' minds immediately. The defenses, though, have really shined for both of these programs through the first 5 games of the season. What have you kind of seen in your initial dig of both of these teams that's standing out to you on either side of the ball?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. I think that with all 4 of these West Coast teams joining the Big Ten, there's this level of, I don't want to say arrogance, but almost this level of like, hey, these guys don't play defense. They're just here to score points. And I actually think that that's completely false. I think all 4 programs did an excellent job of understanding that they're going to need to build out their defense as much as their offense as they make the move to the Big Ten, which is what they've done. I mean, Oregon hires Dan Lanning. It feels like a very clear move of they've had all these offensive minds for so long and have had success with them. But you bring in a defensive guy who led the best defense in the country and led them to a national championship. And while their offenses have still been dynamite, their defense now this year in particular have caught up to a certain degree. And so they are ready to play Big Ten football. We saw it with Washington last week. You know, Jed Fish has told the team, we need to be willing to win games in the 20s. It's not the Washington and Pac-12 of old. USC went out and poached UCLA's defensive coordinator. They're much improved on that side of the ball. UCLA has now built out their defense over the last 3 years so that they can be competitive in this new league. And I think Oregon's right at the top of that list. I think they've got the personnel to do it and the talent. We've seen it. And especially in the last 3 weeks, it just feels like their defense and realistically their entire team is playing at their highest level of the season. You know, last week they gave up 10 points. They were all basically garbage time points. UCLA, they gave up 13 points to a team that, while they're not quite what they were the last couple of years, they still have a lot of talent offensively, and they still have a lot of the pieces that were a part of the best rushing offense or one of them the last 2 years in college football. You know, Boise State, I know a lot of people looked at that game and they're like, oh my goodness, how do you barely escape with it? Boise State could make the college football playoff this year, and they might have the Heisman Trophy winner in their backfield, and you win that game. So I just think that what they have is they've learned lessons from those 2 early games, and they've played really well their last 3. But this is going to be a different level of test, guys. I mean, Ohio State comes in with the best 1-2 punch at running back in the country and the best 1-2 punch at receiver in the country. And all 4 of those guys are NFL-level talents, not just in the sense they'll make the league, but they'll be impact players and maybe even stars. And Jeremiah Smith might be the best true freshman in the country, which is saying a lot from what we've seen out of Ryan Williams at Alabama at 17 years old. They're both prodigies at wide receiver. But it's in Eugene. It's a defense that's playing well. They're confident coming in. And I think they know this is their opportunity to say, hey, we're here. We're in the Big Ten, and you can't mess with us.
Noah Eagle, he'll be on the call Saturday night, 4:30 on NBC and Peacock. Thank you for the time, man, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and hopefully Otson puts on a show for you.
Absolutely. I can say there will be commercials, so it won't quite be red zone level, but we will be having some fun out there. So if you're not going to be at the game, hopefully you can join us 4:30 on NBC.
All right. Noah Eagle. He's one of us. He watches football all day Sunday and avoids every single obligation that he has
Ball doom
to the
on
real
Twitter.
world. Yeah, that's right. As we all do. As we all do on Sunday. Whether it's licking your wounds from Saturday, celebrating Saturday, having your team go up and down, and as he said, you know, his multiple fantasy teams may go either way on him. That was interesting stuff. He is... You can
the
see
fact that he's a consummate pro before he's even 30 years old bothers me.
Yeah, he has his stuff together, man.
He sounds like he's been doing it for 40 years already. He's gonna have a hell of a career, man.
Yeah, I mean, his life has been
like leading up to this.
Yeah. His grandfather was an actor. His dad is a legendary play-by-play voice. He's got the chops, man, and he's really damn good at what he does.
It's always cool when it comes together. You know what I mean?
It
like,
does.
When you're like, you kind of see things line up for somebody, and you're like, it should, and then sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, oh man, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there it is. He's better at life than us right now. Dang, man. All right, great stuff. A little palate, a little wet the beak there of Ohio State and Oregon. Tomorrow we I think are going to get a visit at this time from Danny Cannell, college football. We'll talk with Danny Cannell, all things college football.
We'll need to hash something out with him.
Yeah. It's very important.
It is.
Yeah. For those that don't know, there's a lot of confusion that happens on social media, especially.
On a daily basis.
Danny Cannell hosts a show called Danny and Dusty.
That was started 3 months after ours.
Yeah. This
like the cosmic things that had to happen for two people named Danny and Dusty to come together to start a radio show.
That's right.
At almost the same point in time is almost unfathomable.
Yeah. Ours was first, though, because we do have at Danny and Dusty the Twitter handle.
Indeed.
Which leads to a lot of the confusion.
Yeah. A lot of very angry SEC people who want to go after Danny Cannell.
That's right.
I'm the wrong Danny.
But I mean, they can be mad at you.
No, it's funny.
They can be mad at you.
I do occasionally engage back.
It's fine, sir. This is a Wendy's. This is the wrong Danny and Dusty.
I have enough people mad at me.
It should be an exciting one Saturday, 4:30 on NBC and right here on the Fan. If you're gonna be listening on radio, that was Noah Eagle, play-by-play broadcaster for NBC Big Ten Saturday night. All right. We got a little late breaking news in the National Football League.
Indeed.
And it's not Robert Salah being fired.
But it is the same division.
Oh, God.
Yeah, definitely got their stuff together up there.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I wonder what team it is.
Oregon.
Worst day on the web comes in 5 minutes, but mine's already here as I looked at the internet. Drake May will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots this Sunday.
Which we all knew was going to happen eventually, but the Texans?
Yeah.
The team that has,
yeah,
every quarterback has said they're doing all kinds of stuff and they're confusing the hell out of me. And you've got a freaky pass rush.
Yeah.
And they're disruptive as hell.
Yeah.
That's the team that you go. That's the team that's 4-1.
Yeah.
That uglies up the game. That muddies it up. That has a defensive-minded head coach. That's the team that you want Drake May making his debut against.
Yeah.
You couldn't go one more. Who do the Patriots play next week?
I don't care. The Jags.
Yeah. You don't want him to play against. That's who you don't want him to make his debut against? I mean, I know which way I'm going in this situation.
Yeah. I know which way I'm going too, which is straight to hell.
Yeah.
This is so bad. It's so bad. So if you're wondering, hey, Dusty, why are you so down on playing the quarterback that your favorite team drafted 3rd overall? Well, let me tell you a little something here.
It's because he's going to die.
He is going to die.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other 3 rookie quarterbacks that are playing right now, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix, right? According to Pro Football Focus, the Chicago Bears pass blocking grade is 9th in the NFL. The Washington Commanders pass blocking grade is 5th in the NFL. The Denver Broncos pass blocking grade is 4th in the National Football League.
Which those have been big time improvements over the last 2 weeks for Denver and Chicago.
Yeah. New England's is 30th.
Yeah.
30th.
Which is why Jacoby Brissett's dead.
30.
Because he's been smoked back there.
Hey, well, you know what? They may not. Maybe they'll just run the ball a lot. Oh, really? Because their run blocking grade is 29th.
You know,
there is no team in the NFL that is anywhere close to being as bad in both run blocking and pass blocking as the New England Patriots are. Their offensive line is awful. I've been trying to tell people this for a really long time.
Well, surely they have some weapons for him to throw to.
No. No, they don't. They don't. I mean, their leading receiver has 180 yards.
Oh, my God. Didn't Drake London just have more than that last weekend on Thursday night?
Yeah, he did, Danny. He did.
Notice I didn't go Jamar Chase because, that's normal. Jamar Chase has 190 yards. It's Jamar Chase.
180 yards.
In 5 games.
Yeah. They have 2 receivers on their team that have over 100 yards receiving this year.
Sweet baby Jesus. God, they're so bad.
They have more guys. They have twice as many guys under 50 yards. No, under 40 yards than they do over 100 this year.
For those that don't know, off air, Dusty and I joked yesterday, the New England Patriots are going to be the first team in NFL history to go 0-16 after starting a season 1-0.
No, they will be the only team in NFL history to have 16 consecutive losses and have a win.
That's right. Yeah. In a season. Because that 17th game.
Oh. Well, you want to know the good news?
R.I.P. Drake May?
No, that's not good news. The good news is he's going to be wearing his throwback. They're going to be wearing the throwback uniforms. They're going to be wearing the reds with Patriot pad and the white helmets. He'll look good as he gets
murdered,
smashed into the turf.
He went full Deadpool. He went red, so they can't show they won't show the blood.
Yeah.
Do they have brown pants?
I don't. They need them because
they're
maybe
all going to grab them.
Maybe yellow. I don't know.
Offensive lineman wears yellow so that when they dribble down their leg.
This is so bad.
Yeah. He's gonna get David Card.
Yeah. Well, that's so fun. I'm so excited. And you know what? I think Drake May's got a future.
I think so too.
I think he does.
Yeah.
At the same time, I didn't want to see this.
No. I was like week
didn't
8,
wanna
week
see
9.
this.
Like get halfway
Yeah.
through the season. That way it just doesn't get hit like 80 times in the season.
Well, yeah. Maybe do it against a team like. Actually, maybe this is the week that you do it because it's like Jacksonville's going to be all like fiery and they have something to prove and like they got to win that game.
They might fire their head coach after this week, and then they might come back fiery next week.
Yeah.
And
So like maybe you do it against the Texans, where Texans are like, oh man, I feel bad for this
Yeah.
kid.
Well,
And then
hopefully
you hit him with the whoop-de-doop.
I mean, if Daniil Hunter comes free like he did against Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
that's not good for.
Yeah. It's not good for anybody.
No.
No. So Drake May is going to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Godspeed, young man.
Yeesh.
Godspeed.
There you
I
go.
feel like he is one of those like early NASA astronauts where they're like putting him in the rocket
Just
ship
strapping
and
him
they're
to
like,
it. We don't really know.
Man, this don't worry about the 8 test rockets that blew up. We got 2 out of the 10.
Yeah,
they
we're
were
good.
fine, dude. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be fine. This is gonna be okay.
Strap you to 10 nuclear bombs and push you into space.
Pay no attention to the fact you're probably playing the 3rd best team in the NFL.
Enjoy.
Yeah. So that's how my day's going.
Perfect. I like it. I love this for you. Love this for you.
Yeah, it's so great.
All right. Well, coming up for our worst day on the web, we're going to pivot to a little sports action. And do the Dodgers secretly have the worst fans in baseball?
Maybe.
Yeah. But
Drake-
first is the big Kuno Sports on update.
Drake
That's
May
that
might
Hawaiian
die.
burger joint.
He might die.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Stanford's. This classic American steakhouse has exactly what you've been craving. Visit them in Clackamas, Tanasbourne, or online at stanfords.com. First on The Fan, after a 2-3 start and just getting back to this side of the pond, the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, Saleh had a 20-36 record. This is the first time in owner Woody Johnson's 25-year tenure that he's fired a coach mid-season. Jordan Schultz reporting Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice had LCL surgery today and will miss the rest of the regular season. There was also a structural repair done to his hamstring. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reporting, much to Dusty's dismay, the Patriots naming Drake May the starter at quarterback. His first start will be Sunday against the Titans.
Why?
And NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Seahawks expected to put edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least the next 4 games. In Major League Baseball first, all 4 division series are tied at a game each. A pair of NLDS Game 3s today. First up, the Mets host the Phillies. Sean Manaea opposite Aaron Nola. 2:08 first pitch. Then it's the Dodgers at the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Michael King. That's a 6:08 first pitch. Coverage on 910 ESPN Portland is now underway, and both games can be seen on FS1. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan Merch Locker has new shirts from the fan shows and hosts you love. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com.
I'm Leif Hansen, owner
on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Well, that sucks.
We'll talk about some baseball coming up here in a little bit, but now we're going to talk about the antics of baseball for our worst day on the web here today. Both the Dodgers and Padres, they hate each other. Their fans hate each other.
It's great.
It's not quite Dodgers-Giants, if somebody like suffering a brain bleed, getting crap kicked out of them in a parking lot situation.
No, nobody to date has been
hospitalized. And
not like had a life-altering injury done to them
due to a fan fight.
Yeah,
not if you listen to Dave Roberts.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
what a joke.
I mean, what angle do you want to take on this? The Padres fans throwing baseballs at Profar.
Well, yeah, there's actually
Manny Machado.
Hold on. The Padres fans. There was literally a video yesterday of a guy in a Dodgers jersey doing it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I said Padres fans. I meant to say Dodgers fans.
No, but there was this like LA spin that that wasn't. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
He was jawing at.
Yeah, Jerkson Profar robbed a home run, and he taunted some fans. He had some fun.
Yeah.
And then he went over and handed the ball to a Dodgers fan who was there with his kid. And to the Dodgers fan credit, he threw it back like you do at a baseball park.
Yeah.
He did not throw it at Profar.
Sure.
Now, there were people in the stands that did throw baseballs
and beers
at Profar.
That's the ugly part. And okay, people in the bleachers, Dodger Stadium, it happens often.
It's the same in New York. It's the
bleacher
creatures.
Just be better. Don't throw stuff at players. Take the ribbing, take the jawing back and forth. He actually tried to do something cool. But here's the thing about everything that's going on with the Dodgers right now.
Mm-hmm.
They seem so whiny about
soft.
all of this stuff, because then there's the Manny Machado stuff.
Yes, where they used a ball for one singular warm-up pitch, I believe. And as they're getting ready, the Dodgers getting ready to come to the bat, Manny Machado loosely. It's more than a roll, less than a throw.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened was they do every baseball game, right? Catcher gets it, throws it down to second.
Yep.
Ball skips in, and anytime a ball skips off the dirt in baseball, new ball comes in.
Yes.
Nothing new. Manny Machado gets the ball. It's scuffed up. He zips it. Now it wasn't a throw. Whatever.
Again, more than a roll, less than a throw.
He threw it. It one-hopped, and it hit the fencing right in front of the Dodgers dugout, right where Dave Roberts was sitting. Now, Dave Roberts, Manny Machado, they have a history.
Yes,
remember
they do
Manny
not
Machado
like
in L.A. Didn't work out.
No.
Now he is a Padre. Okay. But Teoscar Hernandez is the one, Dave Roberts was looking at the analytics binder. He didn't even notice what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got upset when Teoscar Hernandez was getting upset because they saw who threw the ball. Dave Roberts goes on this thing that it was unsettling and it was intentional and he was throwing it at me. If Manny Machado wanted to hit Dave Roberts with a baseball, he would have hit Dave Roberts with the baseball.
Manny Machado has an absolute cannon.
He plays third base. He can throw the ball 95 miles an hour across the diamond and host somebody at first base on his back foot falling away. If he wanted to hit you, he would have. Yeah. This is the lamest, most soft thing I have ever seen, especially from a team that dotted Fernando Tatis with a fastball in the back because he pimped a home run. Yeah. So you tell me, which is worse? Manny Machado one-hopping a ball into the
dugout
fence or dotting a guy between the numbers with the fastball?
The star.
What are you doing, Dodgers?
Imagine if one of the Padres pitchers, let's say Yu Darvish, rears back and smokes Shohei right in the middle of the back.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to go over?
It's not going to go over well.
So, yeah,
I think the Dodgers come off Charmin soft.
Oh, yeah. Incredibly
Charmin soft in this.
And now the Padres have had to warn their fans about abusive behavior ahead of Game 3 in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes, though, right? And this thing is they're gonna escalate between the fans, and I hope none of the fans do anything stupid tomorrow or today. down in San Diego, because what it would do is that would start taking away from what is a phenomenal series, and we have phenomenal baseball going on all across the divisional round, which we'll get to, but just don't do stupid stuff. Let this rivalry fester, though, and let it brew, because the Dodgers, like, this is the thing with how the Dodgers are acting right now. Doesn't it have kind of all of the makings of the elite team that crumbles?
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
they crumble far too early in the postseason, and it ends, and like, surprise, surprise, the Dodgers have done this before. But
well, this was the criticism of Dave Roberts.
You sit there and you go, they're looking for an excuse over absolutely everything. And whether it's Jack Flaherty getting all hot and bothered, whether it is Dave Roberts whining about Manny Machado throwing a ball towards their dugout, which didn't hit him. Nobody got hurt.
It's like the Dodgers thought nobody was going to pull the video.
I mean, well, and that's the thing, is that Dave Roberts is saying it was unsettling when I saw the video, and I hope Major League Baseball investigates it. What are they going to investigate? That he flipped a ball towards your dugout, which is kind of standard practice. Like, did he throw it a little bit harder? Yeah, he did. But did anybody get hurt? No.
Like, do I think that Manny Machado probably threw it just hard enough to hit the fence and make a little sound and be an irritating little a-hole? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. But also, I feel like that's within the realm of boundaries of being irritating a-hole in playoff baseball.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, nobody got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
If you got your head down, maybe you go, huh, scared you a little bit.
Yeah. But, I mean, the same team complaining about it that threw a two-seam fastball right in the back of Fernando Tatis.
Mm-hmm.
So
because he hit the ball too far and watched it too much.
And then, like, also, this is also because Manny Machado let him know after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was yelling at Flaherty in the dugout.
Oh, yeah.
During the inning.
And Flaherty will chirp back.
Yeah.
That's part of who he is.
This is great.
No, this is what you want.
Yeah.
Now, not the fan stuff, but you want the players on tilt. This is what makes big moments. And I hope I hope Tatis has a chance to absolutely rake again, and he pimps it off the bat again. Did you see how far Shohei Ohtani threw that bat when he hit his first postseason home run? That thing might have landed in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's great. Do you want to hear the exchange post game of what Jack Flaherty and Manny Machado said?
Absolutely.
Flaherty said, everybody catches the tail end of it, of me and him going at it. But I was sitting there for my team. He was throwing at our dugout. The umpires went over immediately. I don't know what their conversation was, but our dugout was fired up because there's no reason for that. Machado responded with, I throw balls all the time into the dugouts, both dugouts. They have bat boys. You throw the ball back in there.
I mean, yes. Look, Machado's not entirely innocent of this.
No, he's not. But stop being... They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
It's not even a freaking molehill. Anthill?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if that's bigger or smaller. Out of a clump of dirt.
Yeah, I think
this is just a clump of dirt.
This is the dung beetle. That's what this is.
Sure
Making a mountain out of a dung beetle. Rolling
go.
a big old turd down the hill.
I can't wait for it. Tonight, though.
Spicy.
It's going to be a fun
That
game.
going to be juiced.
Yep. And
who's pitching tonight?
The people of San Diego are going to be in for a treat. You ask who's pitching tonight?
Yeah, who's pitching tonight?
Walker Buehler and Michael
King. Yep.
And this also neglects to mention a pitcher getting robbed. Did you hear about that?
Walker Buehler.
Yeah, Walker Buehler got a $100,000 watch mobbed and ripped off of him
at a racetrack.
Mm-hmm. Maybe don't wear a $100,000 watch to a racetrack. Like, look, Churchill Downs, sure.
Yeah.
Santa Anita, not so much.
Yeah.
No, that's where a lot of horses are dying lately.
Yeah,
I think
right.
they've stopped dying.
Yeah.
Recently,
there was
a lot of
a trend of them.
They had a bad run of that.
His mother's mother was a mutter.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of mud at Santa Anita.
No. His father was a mutter.
Yeah, turns out.
Mother was a mutter.
And so there you go. We'll dive back into some baseball a little bit later. We'll actually have quite a bit of baseball. But let's pivot to the NFL for a short little bit here. You want to talk Bo Nix, Sean Payton? Little meltdown yesterday?
Sure. Sunday?
Or Sunday?
Yeah.
My days are all blending together. And then we'll come back in hour number 3 and have some 3 up, 3 down. So we got a lot of NFL to get to. Coming up here next on Danny Dusty, 1080 The Fan. little hot right here. We're going to keep it on baseball real quick. Make sure we wrap up all of our baseball coverage before we basically go NFL for a final hour.
Yeah, man.
Last night gave us some fantastic baseball. The Guardians and Tigers played an incredible defensive game. And if you're out there and you're the Guardians and you've got Clase on the mound, you're like, hey, we scratch across any run. We're good. You're talking about a guy who has allowed 5 runs all season long, gets roughed up for a 3-run shot, and now you have got a series between the Tigers and Guardians that's tied up at 1.
Runner goes, pitch is swung on, a high fly ball to right field. This one is gonna fly! A 3-run home run! Kerry Carpenter! The Tigers up 3-0 as Carpenter, an emphatic, towering fly ball home run into the bleachers in right field. What a moment.
Dude, 0-0 in the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Kerry Carpenter again, like
who's pinch hitting in the second time
you're
around.
Going, who? Like this Tigers team is just a bunch of what?
Yeah.
Who plays for them? He hits a 3-run bomb off a guy that you said 5 runs all season.
Yeah. One of the best, if not the best bullpen guy in baseball.
See, in a 0-0 game, they steal home field advantage. Mm-hmm. Like that is,
and you have a gem
incredible.
from your ace again in Tarek Skubal, who goes 7, allows 3 hits, strikes out 8, doesn't walk any. Good Lord, is he a terrifying pitcher.
In that game, like the swing that you get at the end of that game, it made history because the later game, the Royals and Yankees, Royals end up winning 4-2, but they were in command and in control. I mean, they were a 4-1, I think, heading into the 9th inning. And that gave us, for the first time in Major League Baseball history, every single series in the divisional series is tied at 1 apiece. That has never happened before.
How?
They usually because home field advantage. You hold home field. Every
but still,
team
like,
stole it.
This is the sport that's existed for like 170 years.
Yeah. Well, the division series has only been around since '95. Yeah. So, but you're still looking at it since that's almost 30 years that we're going here.
That's crazy.
And we've never had all 4 series even at 1 apiece. And that was going to be the one that was in jeopardy at the end because, again, the Royals, they end up stealing home field advantage from the Yankees. Yankee fans are now going through it again because they have the better roster, they have the better team, and Aaron Judge just isn't showing up. Have you seen Aaron Judge's splits?
Yeah,
Ryan Spader tweeted this out. Aaron Judge's postseason career. In 5 career wild card games, he has a slash of, he's hitting 300, 417 slugging, and then 800 OPS.
Which
the ALDS he's played in beyond, so the ALDS and American League Championship Series, he has played in 41 games. His slash line is 196, 297, 405. In 24 career ALDS games, he's hitting 194.
You know what this is, right?
Good pitching, and you're not at Yankee Stadium the entire time, hitting over a short porch.
For sure. But it's also the Clayton Kershaw effect. A guy who's just utterly dominant in the regular season. But for whatever reason, the playoffs come around and just doesn't happen.
He went 1 for 4 yesterday. All right.
I'm not saying that because, I mean, look, I don't like the Yankees, but I've got nothing against Aaron Judge. I want to, like, baseball players, great baseball players, I want to see them all show up.
He's hitting 143 in this series.
Yeah, it doesn't make any, like, Clayton Kershaw might be my favorite pitcher of all time.
Sheesh.
It just never, it finally did come together for him.
Finally did.
But
they won a World Series.
You look at his playoff performances. He had a couple where he was actually very good. And the Dodgers screwed him over because they couldn't scratch a run across. But he also had some of the biggest and most epic meltdowns we've ever seen. And he might be the most dominant pitcher of this century.
True. Facts.
And it just,
big facts.
But it just didn't, for whatever reason.
No, it never came together.
It never came together. And I think you're looking at the same kind of thing with Aaron Judge. Now, certainly, come playoff baseball, pitchers are more honed in. The scouting report gets tighter. you start locking in on certain things. And yes, like you talked about, you're not playing every game at Yankee Stadium. Also, at the end of the season, Aaron Judge probably isn't healthy.
Yeah, that has been the story in years past, but this year he's been.
Well, I mean, he's healthy-ish, but
but it's wear and tear. Yeah. It's playing, 170 games. You're creeping up on soon enough.
The 6'7" monster, that's kind of been the thing, right? And I just, you wonder, can they find a way around this? Because this Yankees team, they don't have that level of pitching where they can just, Diamondbacks this thing.
No, I mean, this is another cool part about where we're at with the postseason and the teams that are involved, right? You think of both the Guardians and the Yankees, who got home field stolen from them in the first two. Now they got to go to two places tomorrow where it's been a decade since the Royals have hosted a postseason game when they won the World Series. It's been over a decade since the Tigers have hosted a playoff game. They're going to be going into like the most hostile.
Oh, and it's going to be electric because of how good they've been down the stretch.
That is going to be so much fun for both of those teams. And like now you're sitting there going, all right, they're putting the screws to the favored teams here.
The only unfortunate part is that Scooble's not going to be able to pitch at home.
Nah, I find a way. But all of these games are going to go at least 4. So maybe you get Scooble into game 5.
True.
You get Scooble. You
on the road.
Get him there.
Yeah.
That'd be badass.
Yeah. Because he's definitely got the juice to get it done.
Yeah. And then for the Mets and Phillies are playing tonight. I think they're just about to get underway.
Yeah, it's
actually
Nola and Manea pitch on the bump tonight.
Do you know the last time the Mets played a home game? Because I was shocked. Was
it the Subway Series?
No. I'm just talking any home game.
Any home game?
September 22nd.
Oh God, they went that. They closed the season on the road.
They were on the road for the last week, and then it's been 16 days since they've had a home game. They were not even in the postseason the last time they played a home game, because remember, it came down to the final day on the Monday when they were in Atlanta playing the doubleheader to get in. They have not been back
because they had
Citi
to have the
Field.
makeup games. That's right. Otherwise, they would have.
And they went straight to the road. So this is the first time that the Mets fans, like you're going to have electric environments across the board. We just talked about the Padres and the Dodgers. Like they go down to San Diego.
Petco's going to be just turned tonight.
You're going to have 4 games over the next 2 days where these fan bases,
no matter where you're playing that series, that place is going to be nuts.
All the fan base is going to be frothing at the mouth for those games. Playoff baseball is awesome. It's so damn fun.
Is baseball doing it? Are they doing it right?
They have been doing a lot of things. Like Rob Manfred gets a really bad rap. He's been doing a really damn good job.
Years, Rob Manfred taking the crown?
No. It's still Roger Goodell. I mean, he's in cruise control.
Well, I mean,
he can't screw that up.
I mean,
how's he going to screw that up? What's he going to do to screw that up? There's nothing you can do.
That's fair.
He literally is a cruise control
$50 million a year to just not screw it up.
And now doesn't even get the rep of being the bad guy,
right,
for punishing players, because he's like, you guys are all mad at me for that? I'll let somebody else do it.
And they'll do the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's great.
God, what a job.
How about that?
What a job. All you got to do is not butcher Mariota.
No, he still screws those up all the time.
It's the simple things in life. All right, coming up next, it is Tuesday afternoon. It is 2 o'clock-ish, which means it's time for us to go 3 up, 3 down, 3 things we like, 3 things we didn't, coming out of the NFL weekend that was. Coming up next year on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
A SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on The Fan, after a 2-3 start and just getting back this side of the pond, the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, Saleh had a 20-36 record. This is the first time in owner Woody Johnson's 25-year tenure that he has fired a coach mid-season. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim coach, but will reportedly have a shot at earning the permanent job. Jordan Schultz reporting Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice had LCL surgery today and will miss the rest of the regular season. There was also a structural repair done to his hamstring. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Seahawks expected to put edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least the next 4 games. And Diana Rossini of The Athletic reporting the Patriots naming Drake May the starter at quarterback. His first start will be Sunday against the Texans. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. Danny Meringue.
And then I went to this movie theater. Then I made a noise like this.
Dusty Hera.
Then this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other.
I'm beginning to like this kid much.
This is Danny and Dusty on the Odyssey app and Portland's sports leader, 1080. The Fan.
Hour number 3 here on a Tuesday afternoon here on Danny and Dusty. Whether you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080 AM The Fan, or twitch.tv/1080 AM The Fan. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this wonderful and illustrious Tuesday afternoon here in, what do we got? We had a nice day outside? Okay day outside?
No, it was raining earlier.
Was it?
Yeah.
See, I didn't, again, as I am wont to do, I checked the weather by walking outside, and I went shorts and a hoodie.
Oh, wow.
I went full toddler.
That
Every time I do that, my wife says I look like an elementary school
You
kid.
look like an elementary schooler or a middle schooler. I see that a lot. Went through it. Actually, you went with what my son went to school with. He's 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crocs too?
No. He wore actual shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We send our kid to school in shoes unless it's a library day.
Yeah.
Then you can wear your Crocs.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, it's radio. Nobody sees my feet.
I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna send you out to school in your Crocs, even if they're in sport mode. Don't care. You're wearing shoes, damn it.
I'm not. I'm not.
I need to come in.
I'm Mike Gundy. I'm a grown man. I'm 40. I wear Crocs.
Wear Crocs wherever I want.
They're comfortable. My wife is she's given up that battle.
Oh, okay.
I know. I don't wear Crocs out to like dinner. Well, I should say anymore.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Post-surgery, I was wearing Crocs because it was difficult to put shoes on.
Sure, Jan.
There we go. But it is time now. Tuesday afternoon, 2 o'clock. 3 up, 3 down. 3 things we like, 3 things we didn't. Coming out of the NFL weekend that was, and what a weekend we had.
It was not as wild as the college football weekend.
Still a really great weekend.
But it gave us everything we could ask for. I mean, you get the Vikings coming out and planting their flag in the ground of jolly old London town as an unbeaten. We still only have 2 unbeatens remaining. We have upsets abound. We had
the Bengals are dead.
The Buffalo Bills. Are the Bengals dead? They're 1-4. It's not good. But there's a lot of ground they can make up. The Bills seem like they're reeling.
Josh
right
Allen
now.
forgot how to throw a football.
The entire AFC East seems pretty bad at
We
football.
knew that.
Last weekend they did, at least. The Bills are going to still run away with that division.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a crazy weekend, and I'm here for all of it. And where I'm going to start my first up of the week, Travis Swift. He's back. Looked really comfortable, and it was only a matter of time. Yesterday, Travis Kelce, 9 catches, 70 yards on the day. did not have a touchdown catch, had a sweet little lateral to the back, but at the same time, it was like, hey, where's Travis Kelce? Where's Travis Kelce? Have we not learned our lesson about the Chiefs?
It's true.
Beginning of the year, what Patrick Mahomes does is as long as they're winning, when it comes winning time, they're going to throw the ball to Travis Kelce.
We know
when they're going up against one of the best red zone defenses in the NFL, like they did last night against the New Orleans Saints, you know that they're going to have Travis Kelce as a bigger part in influence in the offense. And he was. And last night, you saw 10 targets for him. Mahomes trying to get him the ball a little bit more, but what Patrick Mahomes is doing is trying to figure out what he has everywhere else. And if you can do that while still winning games, that's what makes them just so terrifying as a team.
They've been clunky and they're still undefeated.
Yeah.
Very stupid.
Absolutely. But Travis Kelce, he back, baby. And T Swift in the building. You hear
quietly.
You hear Troy Aikman?
No.
He said, oh, the missus likes that one. And Joe Buck's like, you know they're not married, right? And he's like, I'm sorry. They are like
the
terrified
fear of the Swifties.
Of the Swifties coming at him and being like, bah! Troy Aikman.
They can ruin empires.
That man was teammates with Michael Irvin, Leon Lett, and he's more scared of the Swifties.
I mean, he's seen more cocaine than everyone in Scarface combined.
Yes.
And he's afraid of a bunch of 16-year-old blonde-haired white women.
He played on a team where somebody got stabbed with a pair of scissors in the training room, and they had a party house called the White House. Yeah. All right?
Yeah.
He's more terrified of the Swifties.
Is that because it was painted white? Yeah. After
Jeff.
somebody sneezed.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah.
My first up is rookie quarterbacks figuring it out for the first time in NFL history.
All right.
3 rookie quarterbacks are above 500.
Hey.
Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, both 3-2. Jaden Daniels, 4-1. The caveat to this is it did happen once before in the 1987 strike-shortened season.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Which
somebody's got to win.
Got to throw it out.
Hey, how about this one, too? All 3 of those quarterbacks have won the last 2 weeks. They're 6-0 over the last 2 weeks.
And I would make the argument they have all gotten better every week. Yeah.
Even when Bo Nix and Sean Payton are yelling at each other.
Kill each other.
My second up, Kings of the North. The NFC North was the division that everybody said at the beginning of this year they're going to be playing some good football there. Not only are all of them over 500 right now, you have the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings, the 3-1 Detroit Lions, the 3-2 Packers, 3-2 Bears. They are beating the brakes off of the teams that they're playing, too. All 4 of those teams have a plus 20 point differential. Now, if you're wondering, is that good? Yes, that is very good. In fact, it's the first time it's happened since, I believe, 1985, I think is the last time that has happened.
Reminder, what happened in the NFC, or I guess the old NFC Central?
Well, just a division. It's the first time since we started our 4 divisions in having any team do this. So that'd be 2000.
I'm just saying, who won the title
2002?
85.
That would be the 85 Bears.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I bet you they had a pretty good point differential.
First time since 2002 that every team in a division is plus 20 after 5 games.
Pretty good spot to be in.
Nuts.
My second up, the 2 lone undefeated teams. I think a lot of people would have pegged the Kansas City Chiefs to be one of those teams. The frustrating thing, I think, for everyone else in the NFL is that they're doing it in a manner of it's not pretty. But come fourth quarter, they just find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's very Patriots and Brady-esque in that you don't want to be on the other side of that team with Patrick Mahomes marching down the line. The other one here, Minnesota Vikings. There have been times over the last, I would say, 15 years with the Vikings where you went, that's not real. I don't buy it. It just felt fake. This Vikings team is for real. They have found ways to win with their offense, with their defense. They have played the ball control. They have shot themselves in the foot and then found a way to rebound. They are just a damn good team that gets it done.
Yeah, I mean, and it was, well, can they win when Sam Darnold comes back down to earth?
Yeah.
He went 14 of 31 for 179 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a pick. They won.
Yeah.
Now, it turned into a one-score game late, but guess what their defense did? Forced 3 interceptions from Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, they're the real deal right now. My final up, I'm going to go them quarterbacks slinging it. Remember, everybody's panic. Quarterbacks not throwing the ball well. Well, this week in the National Football League, we had 5 quarterbacks throw for over 350 yards. First time that we've had that all season long. If you want to go down a little bit further, you had 9 quarterbacks throw for over 300 yards. And how about this? Of the rushers this year, or this week, in week 5 of the National Football League, you had 5 quarterbacks in the top 25 rushers league-wide. When you have Josh Allen running for 54, Lamar Jackson ran for 55, then you have Jaden Daniels rush for 82, Kyler Murray rush for 83, and Geno Smith ran for 72 yards. You had 5 quarterbacks of the top 25 performers rushing the football this week in the NFL.
Dual threat. Kyler Murray pointing and laughing at people.
Yeah, dude, and running away from them while doing it.
It's so funny when he does it, too, because his legs are so short.
He does. He's
like a little Flintstone cartoon.
Just
we came up with the same sound, though. That was pretty good. That's
damn
we're getting on the same cycle now. My third up, Texans fighting the sophomore slump.
Oh.
Everybody wondered, would they come back down to earth? Would teams adjust to C.J. Stroud? Would teams adjust to coaching strategies and different things from the Texans that could be disruptive? And it turns out they're more balanced. Their defense, again, we talked about this earlier, Drake May is going to make his first career start against these Texans, and every quarterback has come out of playing this team saying some version of, that team throws more crap at us than anyone else. It makes it hard. It makes it difficult for us to understand what's coming, what they're going to do, how they're going to attack us. They are taking, and it's going to be interesting because the NFL is a copycat league. Do teams start taking pages out of the Texans playbook? Because what the Texans do is not just different. It's very high risk.
Yeah, but it's also, they knocked it out of the park in a draft that, I mean, when you knock it out of the park, you turn into what Seattle turned into, and they're doing it. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Nico Collins out.
Yeah, the hamstring injury, which
good thing they play New England this week.
It's a good time to go ahead and rest out. But Nico's injury didn't present itself in the game, so maybe it's not a.
He left at halftime.
Well, I know what I'm saying. What they said, and I think he said post game, it just felt weird. It wasn't a pull up lame situation, which when you see that, you go, "Ooh, that's 6 weeks." So maybe this is a thing where it's maybe not as egregious.
Hopefully. All right, my first down. Firing guys. Robert Saleh out. First head coach fired after 5 weeks. The New York Jets said, he gone. This is not a Robert Saleh issue. This is a New York Jets issue. But who's going to be the next dumb team to fire their coach far too early? TBD.
Congratulations to anybody who had Robert Saleh in their pool.
I did not.
I would not have.
No.
It would have taken me a long ways to get here. Yep. My first down, the AFC South. Holy crap.
Are they good?
I don't know if there is a redemptive quality in that division outside of Houston.
Well, Houston's a pretty good one to have.
I mean, it is, but the Colts, I mean, they're going to turn to Joe Flacco. They're going to go away from Anthony Richardson.
Joe Flacco.
The Tennessee Titans and Will Levis, who knows what the hell is going on there. And then you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, that's the coach that I expected to be fired first. I don't know if Doug Peterson makes it through the week.
Oh, Dougie will. He's coming off a big win.
You think so? Oh, I mean, I should say, makes it through next week.
Oh, no, he probably doesn't.
I feel like we're going to be at this point next week. He's gone.
He probably doesn't. Not good news there.
And my God, the entire division, when you talk about positive point differentials, negative point differential for the entire division, including the 4-1 Texans, who are minus 12.
They're
4-1, minus 12.
Gosh.
Yeah.
My second down, the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They are atrocious on the defensive side of the ball. Right now, if you look at total yards allowed, they are 7th in the NFL. They're okay against the pass, but against the run, they are getting gashed against the run this year. They're allowing 151 yards per game on the ground, which is third worst in the NFL. Total yards, they have allowed 757. It's brutal to watch. And then on top of that, they're allowing points too. It's not a bend but don't break defense. They're allowing 29 points per game. And you look at what happened this past weekend. Granted, they were a hold away from having that a tie game against the Baltimore Ravens. But you give up 41 points. Your offense scores 38 and you lose a football game. In the NFL, that is unfathomable. You're asking Joe Burrow to play perfect football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally has got to be perfect.
Though, so by EPA and a couple other measurements, Joe Burrow had, depending on how you slice it, had his third or fourth best game of his career offensively. And then since the beginning of last year, on the same metrics, the Bengals have been the worst defense in football.
It's bad.
It's not an exaggeration. They have been the worst defense in football.
Now, they've had injuries up front. That obviously is going to affect how you operate and getting that push in the heart of your defense. But you've got to be better.
Too many guys are not living up to their contracts.
No doubt about it.
It's a tough place to be. My second down is Super Bowl hopefuls. On the outside looking in right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers, and the Cincinnati Bengals are combined 5-10.
Uh-oh.
There's certainly, you can look at the 49ers and go, well, they've had injuries. Sure. Again, I will roll my eyes at the, I'm sorry, they didn't have one of their 7 All-Pros.
They need Robert Saleh back.
Yeah.
He's available.
Yeah, let's chill a little bit. I think there's real concern for the 49ers. They may have missed their window. As insane as that sounds when we look at hindsight. The Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni is the next coach on that list for me. And if the Eagles come out this next week and they find a way to lay an egg again, there is going to be real issues. And we talk about the Cincinnati Bengals; they're 1-4. I don't know if they can save this season. 1-4 is a. I mean, look, it's not impossible. It's damn near that.
Yeah, they need to be a lot better.
They basically need to go on essentially a 9-game winning streak.
My final one is Saint It Ain't So. The New Orleans Saints dropped their 3rd straight game last night to the Kansas City Chiefs after putting up crooked numbers on the scoreboard the first 2 weeks. Remember, they scored 91 points in 2 games to start the season. 47-10 over the Panthers, 44-19 over the Cowboys. Since then, they have scored 12, 24, 13. The offense has come right back down to earth. The defense is still keeping you in games. I thought they did a really good job against the Chiefs yesterday. Yeah. But your offense, and this is sometimes ugly Derek Carr shows his face. That interception early in that game, that was kind of the tone setter for them offensively. That's when I knew I was in trouble with my over.
They'll sneak up and get you.
Just so bad.
My last down, coaches on the hot seat.
Oh, but they got the Bucks. They got the Bucks next week, and then they have the Denver Broncos. If the Denver Broncos get past the Chargers, they'll be on a 4-game win streak heading into that game against the New Orleans Saints, and I'm not going to rule them out of that game either.
Yeah, because the Chargers don't have an offense. God, that's 2 offenses going against each other. Oof.
Just don't watch.
That's going to be bad football. My last down, coaches on the hot seat.
Unless you're a Duck fan, want to watch Justin Herbert and
Bo Nix. There you go. Coaches in the hot seat for me, I don't believe in hot seats. I think they're very dumb.
All right.
Either get in or get out. Fire the guy and move on. Start your search, or commit to the guy and get to the season.
Yep.
I hate hot seats. I don't like it. I know I just got done talking about Sirianni and
well, they're
Peterson.
on one, but they're dumb.
Yeah, but the profile on Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts coming into the season it wasn't a red flag. It was a red curtain.
Yeah. I hate hot seats too, because either fire them at the beginning of the year or hold on to them for the rest of the year. Because if things are going downhill that fast,
you made the wrong choice to start the season. Just
might as well
write it out.
Get a good draft pick.
Yeah, there's no. I don't understand it. It drives me absolutely.
I mean,
bonkers.
unless you have a complete a-hole of a coach, then I guess you fire him the last few weeks.
Hackett, when he was with McDaniels, Hackett, like when you get those coaches, you're like, oh no.
But again, that's on you for hiring them.
But those are the ones where those aren't hot seats. Those are, we made a drastic mistake. And I think those are different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
All right, so that's it. 3 up, 3 down, 3 things we like, 3 things we didn't. Coming out of the NFL weekend that was every Tuesday at around 2 o'clock-ish. We get some fun with audio and a little back and forth here coming up. We'll dive into the NFL next on Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan.
Seahawks football.
Bo Nix and the Broncos handled the Las Vegas Raiders over the weekend. And even in that win, It got a little feisty, got a little heated, got a little testy between Sean Payton and Bo Nix.
Yeah, your Raiders are in a bad spot.
Oh, God, yes.
Gardner Minshew's eating his boogers on the sideline.
That's tough. Tough look.
That's a tough look. That is a tough look. But I guess everybody loves their own flavor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Get your own brew.
Yeah, yeah. But even...
Nah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I just hope that, like, my kid doesn't see that because I'm like, don't eat your boogers. And
Nobody does that, and it's Gardner Minshew.
It's like,
so
"Gah!"
cool.
It's like, we love Gardner Minshew.
I couldn't tell you how many times a day I have to tell my kid that. Will you stop picking your nose and eating it?
I thought you were going to say how many times you have to remind yourself not to do that.
Yeah, well, that too, maybe.
No, I'm a picker and flicker.
Ooh. Be an adult. Get a booger wall. But no, it did get testing. This is what's going to happen when you have a rookie quarterback, right? And I think a lot is being made of Sean Payton and Bo Nix yelling at each other on the sideline. But I think if you go back and you kind of look at what happened and you look at Sean Payton and Drew Brees and their relationship over the years.
They used to get into it.
Yeah, they would yell at each other all the time. It is a sign of growth when you have those because, one, you have a quarterback, and like this is also with the understanding that Bo Nix isn't the guy who just MFs people and yells at people all the time, right?
No.
And if you watch the video, did you see the assistant coach come up and like back Bo? And like he kind of like gave like the no, he's right as they were yelling at each other. I don't know what they were saying, but what I do know is Bo Nix handled it like a wily veteran in the post game.
Bo, there was a very lively conversation with you and Sean Payton after that 45-yard incompletion there. What was going on there, and why were you so heated about it?
Yeah, well, he turned and looked at me and said, "I love you," and I turned and said, "I love you back."
That goes over a lot better when you win 34-18.
Yeah.
But
if the scoreboard's reversed, it's a lot harder to have that kind of fun or candor in the post game.
You're not getting that.
No.
You're not getting that at all.
It's we're both very competitive, and it just happens in the flow of the game, and
we're just gonna keep that between us.
Yeah.
And it sounds a lot worse than
like, oh, what do you mean between us? It's like that's how this goes, man.
But that was when you hit when you have a offense where it is hit and miss, it's boom and bust. The quarterback and the receiver have to be on the same page because Sean Payton's offense has so many option routes and so many times you need to read and just take what the defense is giving you, but it takes two to tango in that. You're going to have the mishits, and you're going to have Sean Payton expecting that perfection from his quarterback. And the receiver was open, but what did the defense show Bo Nix? That's where Sean Payton's going to lose his ass is you guys didn't see the same thing. He was open, and Bo's probably sitting there going, well, if you had done the right thing and taken what the defense gives us in our read progressions, still would have been open. You have those lively and fiery conversations like that. And I think one thing, and you said this in your 3 up, 3 down, the 3 rookie quarterbacks are showing growth. And Bo Nix is lagging behind the other 2. That is true.
He also has at least to work with.
By far. By far.
Look, week 1, Jaden Daniels made the other 2 guys look terrible. I mean, Caleb and Bo were atrocious week 1.
He's got a new age play caller in Cliff Kingsbury. He has a legit bona fide vet in Terry McLaurin that knows how to get open.
A good enough line and a solid running game.
Great run game. Caleb Williams was running for his life and playing like he did in college. He has made it a point of emphasis to deal like an NFL quarterback
should.
He
has nailed his butt to the pocket.
And he needs to.
No.
He has to. It's been a little bit of an overcorrection. You still got to let Caleb Williams, it's like, hey, do your thing.
Yeah.
But if I am a coach, I would rather Caleb Williams say, nope, I'm going to do it this way. And then we can say, all right, you know how to be a pro now. You be you.
Yeah.
You be you.
Find the balance.
Yeah. Josh Allen had to find the balance early in his career. Caleb Williams comes in as a far more prolific and efficient passer than Josh Allen was when he started. And he has way more weapons than anybody who's kind of stepped in to a starting role on a team as a number one pick. Their offensive line is got a lot of work to do, though, and we'll see where they go. But all three of these quarterbacks are playing really damn well, and then there will be Drake May this week.
It's a good place to be.
Who might die.
Good place to be.
No, it's not for Drake May.
All right, coming up next, we'll put a nice little bow on all of the NFL ups, downs, and everything in between because, well, we just didn't have time to hit it all yesterday. We'll get that and more here on Danny Dusty. First, here's the Big Kahuna Sports on Update.
You ever had a Big Kahuna burger?
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, a pair of NLDS Game 3s today. First up, it's the Mets hosting the Phillies. And we are currently in the bottom of the second at Citi Field. Mets already with a 1-0 lead over the Phils. Coming up later on, it's the Dodgers at the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Michael King, 6:08 first pitch. Full coverage over on 910 ESPN Portland. Both games can be seen on FS1. The Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Hired in 2021, he had a 20-36 record. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will serve as interim head coach and will reportedly have a shot at earning the permanent job. NFL Network reporting Saints quarterback Derek Carr expected to miss several weeks with an oblique injury suffered in last night's loss to the Chiefs. Jordan Schultz reporting Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice had LCL surgery today and will miss the rest of the regular season. There was also a structural repair done to his hamstring. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Seahawks expected to put edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least the next 4 games. And Diana Rossini of The Athletic reporting the Patriots naming Drake May the starter at quarterback. His first start will be Sunday against the Texans. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust at the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Got a smart speaker? It's the Fan in your office and every room of your home. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Auto
I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to say that Josh Allen was having a runaway MVP caliber season heading into this weekend.
Yeah, and great defenses will do that to you.
But by God, did he forget how to quarterback?
Yeah.
9 of 30.
And this is the big conundrum that you have when you don't have a number one. Like, this is the whole why you need a number one wide receiver, right?
Mhm.
Is because Khalil Shakir goes out, and he had been playing really well.
The role of the number one.
But when you are by committee and the committee takes a hit, it is far more detrimental.
It's a
because
thin line.
You don't have the guy, and you can't just say, all right, if we have a bunch of number twos, but we don't have a number one, and one of our twos goes down, look, the guy who's behind him isn't very good.
No.
And that drop-off is substantial. And so when you have that number one and you can lean on him and you can rely on him, those are the type of games that you need that number one receiver. Now,
Well, if only there were a number one wide receiver out on the market somewhere.
Devontae Adams. Dude, I would not be shocked one bit after a game like that Buffalo goes, all right, let's try to make a move. Let's see if we can make it happen.
Look, and if the Bills are willing to give up a second and a third, which has been the little thing pitched on ESPN, and me as Raiders fan, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's fair value.
Yep.
Dude, get that done.
Go ahead and do it. But Josh Allen was not great.
No.
But he was not helped out either.
He had some drops, but he had some throws where you just went, it looked like rookie Josh Allen. Like, and again, you have to give the Texans credit and what we talk about, how disruptive they are. And it is, God, I want to give credit where I can. One of the NFL analysts out there that's big in analytics is basically couched the Texans' style of defense as not only one of the most aggressive, but one of the riskiest defenses in modern football. They do things that if you find the weakness, if you can spot it pre-snap, you can destroy them. You can but they disguise what they're doing better than anyone else. And they're bringing wide side blitzes, deep blitzes on when their scouting is basically let them believe this is when they're going to take a deep shot. This is when we can bring this and actually bring pressure and not get killed by a quick slant or a hot route, but they disguise it so well that even if they don't get home, they're incredibly disruptive to longer developing, deep developing routes where teams are trying to push the ball down the field.
I think with all of that being said, they had a chance to win that game.
They did.
I mean, the game was tied late, and Josh Allen played his worst game in years.
Yes.
You didn't have your receiver room at full strength. Your leading receiver, yardage-wise, had one catch in Keon Coleman, right? He was a 49-yarder. They had to do it by committee. James Cook ran the ball
effectively,
very effectively. But when you have a running back who's averaging 4.1 yards per carry, you are pinned inside your own 3-yard line because give the Texans a lot of credit. They made football game winning plays. They had game winning plays. When they needed them the most, their punter comes through, he flips the field. Your defense was solid all the way through. Your offense at the end of the game doesn't have a lot of time to operate, and they march right down the field, get you a game-winning field goal. But when your quarterback is completing 33% of his passes, and you get the ball with 32 seconds left in a tie game,
backed up in your own end zone,
why in the world are you dropping back 3 times? And Sean McDermott had to face that question in the postgame.
Tough game. I thought our guys did a great job coming back. Coaches made good adjustments. Just not enough in the end, and that's on me. The end of game situation on offense. We needed to. We're in a tough situation. 3 timeouts. They were holding 3 timeouts. I got a good field goal kicker. We needed to run the clock and move the chains, and that's on me. We didn't do that there, and that's my fault.
Yikes!
And this has been the criticism of Sean McDermott in these situations. First, it was, when Dayball leaves, kind of how does the play calling shake out? And I think we've learned perhaps that as good as effective as Dayball was, that maybe Diggs in his stuff was a bit more problematic than maybe we were willing to give it credence for.
I think Joe Brady's doing a really good job with
Mm-hmm.
that offense. McDermott is in a tough spot because, look, you have a quarterback that is playing at an MVP level.
Yes.
You're backed up on the 3. They're going to pin their ears back. They're going to try to stop the run. And when you have a quarterback that is as good as Josh Allen, he in his mind, he's going, no, we are attack mode. We're not safety mode. We are going to play attack mode.
And regardless of how bad he's been, when you've got Patrick Mahomes, when you've got Joe Burrow, when you've got Josh Allen, hell, if you've got Lamar Jackson, those 4 quarterbacks, if you have one of those 4 quarterbacks, regardless of what has happened the rest of the game, you are paying them and trusting them in that moment to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
So I get at least the mindset, but you're looking at that Texans team that has 3 timeouts. And what was it, 1:05 left?
No. When they got the ball, there was 32 seconds left.
I think it was 30. I think it was 1:05 when they went to punt. And I think that's what it ended up being after when they let it run down. But they've got 3 timeouts. Make them burn through something. Make them possibly make a mistake.
Yep. Because they didn't allow. If you run the ball twice and then throw the ball, you at least
soften it up.
Are in a position where your running back's averaging 4 yards a carry. You're in third and manageable at that point.
And maybe you keep them guessing because maybe they think, hey, maybe they are going to run it here because they might want to try to just burn our last time out.
And at least what you ended up doing is incompletion, punt the ball away, and a kicker that is automatic from 50, which all kickers are now these days. That is an impossible situation to be in, and that sucks. It's really hard if you are Sean McDermott in that situation because of the fact that you always want to be in attack mode. You're not going to say we're playing not to lose this game. You want to be aggressive, but everything about that game told you run the ball, make them use their timeouts, and then find yourself in a position where you give your defense a better chance because it opened up the middle of the field when they had more than 1 timeout remaining in the waning seconds of that game. They could throw the ball across the middle, get tackled, call a timeout, run 2 more plays, which is exactly what they did. Tough. That's a tough way to lose, but they were in it still.
Them's the breaks in the old NFL.
That's right.
All right, let's put a nice little bow on today's show. Maybe wrap up today's show with a fun little bit of audio here. And Danny and Dusty, 10 the Fan. Well, we found a way to get through most of the NFL stuff, and we still didn't get a chance to hit maybe one of the biggest news notes of the day in the professionalization of college football coming our way.
Yeah, Ross Dellinger dropped a little nuggie on us today that we are inching closer and closer to a college football super league.
Private equity.
70 teams playing, which is your Power 4, Notre Dame included.
I keep saying 80, but 70 is good.
70 teams where you'd have 3 tiers of distribution. What they're saying is that in the first 4 years of a super league, you'd have $130 million per year going to each school in Tier 1. Tier 2 would get $60 million. Tier 3 would get $30 million, just right off the top of the Super League. By year 12 of this, Tier 1 would be up to $250 million, Tier 2, $110, Tier 3, $60. That right there is a lot of money going to a lot of schools, and it would be based on promotion and relegation into each tier of college football. They say off the bat it would infuse $9 billion of private equity.
I'm sorry, how much?
$9 billion.
Oh, okay.
You would be getting about $15 billion
Jeez.
in this thing.
That's NBA TV money.
This is
legitimately, that's what that is.
This is
it's insane.
Going to be, and what it would be is all 4 of the power leagues would have to come together and say, this is what we're doing. We are going to run with this, and this is how it would be. You would no longer play group of 5 schools. You would no longer play FCS schools. Every team in that Super League would just play against other Super League teams.
And promotion relegation.
Within the tiers, not out of the Super League.
I need it. This is why I need 80 teams. I need promotion relegation. I need 10 teams cycling through.
But and we don't know about Oregon State and Washington State in this and how they would fit in.
I feel like they would.
70 would tell you no right now.
But they said in like the 40s or 50s based on like every measurement.
Here's the big one though. Would the Big Ten and SEC want to do this? Because then that gives away
their leverage.
Their leverage of we're bigger, better, and badder than everybody else here.
Man, $9 billion is a lot of money.
But, all right, for the Tier 3 teams, a lot of the bottoms of your conference are going to be in that 3rd tier. And you would be going from $100 million a year down to $30 to $60 million. That's a big change, man. That's a big change. And I don't know if they'd want to be down for that. But it's something to keep an eye on as we move forward. All right, that does it for us today. Up next, you got 4 hours of power from their mouths to your ears. It's Primetime with Isaac and Souk. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you Wednesday from noon to 3 right here on The Fan.
Bye.
There was a